Hi everybody, welcome to the SalesGuru channel. And like you know, we are interviewing various startup CEOs and sales heads in the process to understand what is happening in this current scenario and how they are coping up with the sales channel challenges and revenue programs and other things. So in this series for today, I have Pradeep Bhat from Online RTI, and let's get on with the program and introduce you to Pradeep Bhat. Thank you, Pradeep, for coming on this program, and welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Raju. Thanks for having me here.
So Pradeep and I, we know each other for quite some time, and in his journey of entrepreneurship and online RTI, I have also tried to help them in their sales process. And today we will try to understand how Pradeep has started this initiative and why he is on this program of entrepreneurship and all of that. And let's hear his journey. Let's keep it very interactive, and let's hear from the man himself. Yeah, welcome, and let's begin. I would like, why don't you tell us why you started this company and why did you enter want to become an entrepreneur while your career has been working in various interesting companies. Why did you, and when did you decide to start a company?
Yeah, thanks, Raju. Um, I think in my case, more than the entrepreneurship, it was me and Vinod, who is the co-founder of Online RTI. We wanted to do something to contribute in the space of transparency. And this way back in 2014, Vinod was then working out of Singapore, and he wanted to file an RTI because his father's pension was stuck in state government of Tamil Nadu, and he found it very difficult to do that. He had to read. He even after reading, he tried once and it failed. He didn't get satisfactory answer. Then after 2-3 weeks of effort, we finally managed to file a RTI. After spending a lot of hours on it. And it was very easy to see that it's very difficult to do. Until it's difficult, not many people will use it. We wanted to solve this problem, and then we floated a website. We initially thought only NRIs will use it. But to our surprise, mostly like people in metros in India were using it. We found huge traction. And then slowly, it reached a point where we couldn't have done it part-time. So we raised some money and we decided we'll give it full-time to ensure that many RTAs get filed in our country. And it's a tool to shift balance of power towards citizens. And in this process, we can contribute towards it. So I say more initial journey started less out of entrepreneurship, but more out of solving that particular problem. But then after 2 years, when we started getting into the rhythm of solving different types of problems, tech, sales, marketing, everything, then I would say our second product, which is the crime check, which we pivoted after 2 years, that was more out of our, once we tasted entrepreneurship, we wanted to roll out another product, and it happened. Raju definitely knows it, but before that, we had pivoted like 8 to 10 different products and different pricing models and different sales strategies. And then then the crime check was born. So now our company has 2 products. One is B2C, where we serve RTI, and another is crime check, which we give to banks and BFCs.
So I know both of you, Vinod and Pradeep, are big time evangelists of transparency in the country and trying to bring that change. And being all of that, what are you really proud of this company?
Yeah. So this varies from people to people. In our case, we have been proud that we are working on products which contribute towards transparency in our country. And before starting this, we both have worked in startups and a lot of different product companies. Some of them have got acquired. We have worked on high tech earlier. But this started because of our urge to work in a product which promotes transparency. And till this date, that is what we are mostly proud about. There are several other factors, the team, and the experience, right? So, as an entrepreneur, the experience that you get is unparalleled. You cannot get it, and the buck stops at you. That feeling itself is, it's a responsibility, but it's a very happy feeling also. But mostly we are proud that we are working on products which are contributing towards transparency in our country. So.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, what would you say? What are your three biggest accomplishments in this journey of entrepreneurship since 2014?
Yeah. So in fact, when we started, we were not even sure about what will happen, right? Our first milestone was, can we do 5,000 RTIs? Can we reach that stage? So I think our first biggest, happiest moments was when we did 1 lakh RTIs across India, right? We were a very small team working out of Bangalore, but now we have done over 2 lakh RTIs, so we are happy about that. The second was, so as I said, with the help of our advisor, Raju has helped us, many other people, but after RTI, we were planning for another product. We pivoted many other products, and then we tried Crime Check, and once it reached product market fit, once we got positive response from many clients, that was a good milestone for us, because there were like 1.5 years hard work behind it. The third was winning SDFC as a client for Crime Check. It happened through a lot of checks. It took a lot of time, a lot of hard work, but once we have got it, it opened gates for many other clients. So winning SDFC as a client for Crime Check, I would say one of the big achievements for us.
Fantastic, fantastic. So with that, what is the number one reason? Why do you say that customers would like to work with you or choose you as their partners?
Yeah, so I'll speak this on behalf of Crime Check, where we give legal reports against any company or individual across India. So customers are choosing Crime Check because they get to identify and reduce legal risk, and this helps them reducing their NPAs, improving their recovery rates and all that. And our reports are the best because we have got the best data coverage. Our search is way better than many others. So yeah. So I to summarize, we help them, we give them very good value in identifying and reducing legal risks.
Right. So this is becoming a big challenge for a lot of people in this sector, where they are giving loans, or even in some cases they are selling cars and other places, right? So Crime Check is becoming a very important requirement for many companies, and you're leading that space at this point in time.
Yes, and there is people say there is a CIBIL score, but CIBIL score is a credit risk. It's applicable only for people who have already taken credit. There is a huge segment which is new to credit. Then even if you have a good credit score, but if you have a case going on and the case goes against you, you get jailed. All the investment on you is tanked. So yes, I think definitely it's useful.
So what are your top two sales highlights?
Yeah, so very hard to always answer such things, but I would say getting HDFC, it happened after a lot of hard work, and they do a lot of checks. So that was one of our sales thing. The other was for our Crime Check, we had a client ID5. It's a big client for us, and we had lost it for a brief period. Again, when we lost it, we had reached out to Raju and some other advisors on strategies. So we kept every week, we just kept informing them about our changes in our product, about improvements. We kept communicating what progress we are doing. And after a brief period of 2 months, we were able to win them back. Not because of reducing rates, just telling them that our value has improved a lot. And now they are with us. So, they have been the longest client with us. We lost them for a brief while, but I would say our perseverance, we didn't panic at that moment, and we got them back. And that's an achievement. So
yes. So this is what most startups fail to understand, that the moment they face a price challenge, they succumb to it. And then they say, we have to go behind that. We have to reduce the price because otherwise we'll lose the client, blah, blah, blah. But then perseverance and value addition becomes a key in
Yes.
any startup space, and trying to hold on to your guts is very, very important. Your
Yes.
sticking to your position is also important, because your vendor, at the end of the day, your client is getting a lot of value from you. So you
Yes.
should not simply succumb to their pricing pressures and other strategies. So
Yep.
that's a fantastic story, Pradeep. So, like you were talking to me about your two verticals, B2B, which is your crime check, and B2C, your online RTI.
Yeah.
How different is your sales approach in these two categories?
Yeah. So totally different. Totally different. The products are very different. The clients who are using it and they're using it through different medium, they're getting different value. Totally different. For our B2C, our strategy is SEO and Google search ads. Right.
Right,
For our B2B, it's networking, LinkedIn, attending events, meetings. That will standard B2B approach, and we meet very senior level people for B2B. Sales
right.
cycle is also very different, very long in B2B. Yes, I think going by the nature of the product, it's very different. So
Correct. So, in your opinion, when you have such long gestation period before you win sales, do you find salespeople really afraid to sell, or what happens? You have had a lot of team members who are in sales and others. So, what
yeah,
usually is your case, or why are they afraid to sell in some
yes.
cases?
Uh, um, See, as you said, in B2B, the gestation period is high.
Yes,
And this varies on the experience. In general, not just my team members, but outside also, I've seen that the fear comes from not enough confidence in the value of their product or service.
correct.
So once they are confident, I mean, uh, by nature, it depends on the nature also to some extent, but they need to have confidence in the value that they are giving. And they have to think from the customer's perspective that they are there to give him value. Once you have that drive, you are actually working from him, because it's not a zeros ones game, right? You are like, it's a win-win game. So if you go with the feeling that you're giving value to him, then this like fear will not come, right? So I think it's just having confidence in the value that you're giving. So
Brilliant point. Most salespeople fear because they are trying to sell. But
yeah,
if they realize that they are adding value to the customer, then the
yes,
whole equation changes.
yep.
So very good point, Pradeep. Thank you. So do you face a lot of price challenges, like you were mentioning earlier, price challenges, and how do you overcome them, Pradeep?
Yeah. So of course, in India definitely, I think lot of price challenges. Even in this COVID scenario, we have like started receiving mails from some of our customers that their customers have asked them for price revision, and they are asking us. We have resisted all price changes because it depends on the company also. Our DNA is not something where we can win a price war, right? What we do is, in this case, we tell them that uh, these are the values that we give, and it takes this many costs to give that value, right? We cannot give this quality at reduced prices. And the other way to overcome them is, we want to focus our energies on explaining our values that we are giving, and we want to continue working on the values, right? We don't get into the business of reducing rates, right?
Right.
Um, it is not something that will help anyone, right? So it will just lead to a downward spiral. So
Correct. Fantastic. So this is something that everybody has to be brave and face
yes,
the customers when they pose such questions.
and you
Fantastic.
have to fight internally also, because sometimes your team members also fall, like they also get tempted to say, no, let's reduce it for 2 months. But once you have reduced it, don't forget that it will happen for 2 months. It will stay with you for long. So
So I also remember in some cases where they were fighting for the price challenge, they have added extra value, but
yes.
never focused on reducing the prices.
Yes, exactly. So I think 1 year back, there was another client who had asked for and I reached out to you. You asked me not to reduce it, and then our response to it was, I mean, we'll add more value,
Right.
right? Don't ask. Take this the same thing, because that is what will take you far. Reducing rates will create too much pressures for you. So
Correct. That is a never-ending cycle. Today
yes,
they'll ask for some, tomorrow they'll ask some more, and then it will never stop.
yeah. And this also we have learned the hard way also. I mean,
Right.
we have experienced it, that it's a never-ending cycle. And at that moment, you think that, oh, maybe it's for 2 months, but it's never like that. So it
Correct.
stays with you for long.
Correct. Correct. So, what are the top traits of a salesman that you expect from your sales team?
Okay. See, it depends. It's very subjective. And I'm not from sales background. I've learned sales by doing it. But I would say confidence, preparation. I mean, it's a game of preparation. You have to understand your thing, what value you are giving, how do you want to position it. And third thing applies to all the streams, high drive.
Correct.
You need to have very high drive. So
good, good. And how high is your client turnover, and how do you try to handle that?
yeah. So our crime check product is basically used by two segments. One is fintech, and another is background verification. In fintech space, uh, we have not experienced very high turnover. In fact, we have not lost any client in the last 2 years. But in background verification, we have had very high churn, right? And it still continues. Our strategy to avoid it is to like give much more value than what our competitors are giving. That is one way. Communicating that value also, we have realized that many times we have many things but they don't know, so we have to regularly communicate what all valuable things we are doing. And the third thing applies to our business, that we have APIs. Some of our clients, if they can integrate our APIs, they get more value, plus it's a deep integration with us, right? So the context switch reduces. It helps them to stay longer with us. They get value and they also stay longer with us. So
Correct. Very good. Very good. How do you think selling will be different in this current lockdown period and the post-COVID scenario?
I think a lot of switch will happen towards online selling. When I say online selling, video conferences, people will now respond more to emails and all that. They would also, if your product has that, then they would also want to uh, explore the product online, see the videos and all that. Earlier, they would ask you to give a presentation, come to my office and all that. I think those things will reduce for for a 1 year's time, so at least.
Yeah. So these things are, in my opinion, I also believe that we are going to see a sea change in the way we are going to do business and travel and whole lot of things. Yeah.
Yes.
Video is going to take over is what I also believe.
Yeah. So if
What
you
are
don't have a explainer video, it's good time
yes,
to make it and distribute it. So
yes, 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 yes. And so with this scenario continuing, we don't know if this lockdown is going to extend or there's going to be partial relaxation. So what do you think we should not overlook at this point in time?
I think as far as sales is concerned, I think basics of sales remain the same. Product should provide value. You should focus on winning trust of the customer. Those things remain the same. Only I think the online and all those things will happen. Rest all remains the same. So, as per me.
So what I feel is startups and entrepreneurship is going to pick up a lot in this type of scenario where youngsters they're going to see a lot of job losses and other things, and they want to do come up with their own entrepreneurial journey and things like that. So what would be your advice to guys who are starting off now?
Okay. I think if you're see, it depends on innovation, trying different things. So keep trying different things. But especially I think when you're running a company or coming up with a new thing, all the streams matter. So while product is important, sales is also important. Many techies overlook that part, right? It is not every stream is important as product development. Sales is important. Same goes for cash flow. it will. And the other thing is people. Once you hit 20 people, they will start facing people issues, so culture and all that. I don't want them to be disturbed about these things in the beginning, but just keep it at the back of your mind that you will have to fix these problems also. Entrepreneurship is not just product, it's everything.
Correct. So, just to give you something, when I started off my entrepreneurial journey way back in 2000, I failed miserably, and that's when I went on to pick up my sales skills and worked in other companies like Dell to pick up people skills.
Yeah.
So last when I quit, I had about over 100 plus people under me. So those are the skills that you need to build. Very true.
Yes,
very
yes.
true. So quite importantly, along with that, finance skills helps
Yes, yes.
as well. Thanks. So what are the smartest direction that small owners should take at this time, Pradeep?
I think again, it depends on the business. If you are in a business which is picking up during this time, like online education and all that, it's a good time. You should advertise and get more, acquire more customers. But most businesses during this time survive, reduce your non-people cost, and try to survive during this time. This is a temporary phase.
Right.
It's just a temporary phase. Take care of your people and just communicate properly. You can take hard decisions, whatever you want. Everybody will understand. Just communicate it properly and survive 2-3 months. So, and if while doing it, you can build on the product and do something else, that's very good. So,
okay. So you have had a lot of experience. We have pivoted a couple of times or more to before you have finalized on the market that you want to cater to and make it big. So in all of this, what would be your advice to entrepreneurs to which actually makes or breaks their experience as a startup entrepreneur?
oh, again, very subjective, very subjective. But I mean, I've had some friends whose journey, they enjoyed the journey, but it didn't. It was not successful and all that, right? I think product market fit many times, especially applies to techies. They love building products. They don't keep a metric to know whether customers are getting value out of it or not. So it can be a fancy, hard to code product, but if it's not adding any value, or if you're not having customers who are willing to pay for it, then you cannot build a company on that. It will be fun building it, but you cannot build a company. And I've had 2-3 friends, I mean, who lost this point, right? So definitely this is one area. The another part is the cash flow thing. Especially in Bangalore, techies are very expensive. You have to keep a close eye on cash flow. You have to be able to foresee at least for 1 year. In our company also, there was a time when we really were in desperate situation because we were not tracking it properly. I think these two are very important. Other things are also important, but in your journey, whatever you're building, you have to know whether people will be willing to take it or not, whether it's adding value to people or not. So that's very important to assess.
So before we wind up, my one last question would be, so this quarantine or our current COVID situation, so we are going to see a lot of things. So in all of this, so what is your final take or final advice to youngsters or already in this business to raise funds, or to even should they raise funds right away or see whatever? What is your take on fundraising?
Yeah. So I have also been talking to some VCs, and of course, there's a lot of uncertainty about the industry right now. People don't know how it will shape up and all that. But VCs are there to invest money. If they are not investing, they are losing out, right? So they are still seeking out ideas. If your idea is very good, temporarily, definitely, like whatever idea supports work from home, video conferencing solutions, online education, those will ride the wave. But VCs are still seeking out ideas. Investments will still happen. Maybe the valuation will take a hit during this time. Maybe there will be a shift towards little bit companies which are more cash flow prudent. We are like they have better cash flow and all that. But investments will, if your idea is very good, reach out to investors. The VCs, they are there to still invest. It's their job, right? So, and they're responding. I mean, I know some of the VCs, and this is after discussions with them. So they are still investing. Just little, I mean, just the buzzwords and some other companies might not work out now. You have to have deep value. You have to have a product which is providing deep value, and you will get investments. I mean, you every day now, also today also there were so many investments. So that will continue.
Fantastic. Thank you, Pradeep, for taking time and coming on our channel to talk to all our viewers. It was very honored to talk to you. And if any of you have any questions to either Pradeep or me, you can definitely leave a comment, and we will see if we can answer some of them. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Good chatting up with you. See you soon with another entrepreneur for who can share their experiences with you. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thanks, Raju.
Bye-bye.